of the story of David. So let me get my Bible and my note. Hold on. Where's my note? Okay. Okay. So the first, if you watch, highly recommend to watch the first part of the video. Um, before watching this video, which is the second part of David's story. As I mentioned earlier in the first video, that we all know that David was a man after God on heart, and he also was known for as somebody that committed sin. He is a murderer. He was a adulterer, and he was a man that defeated Goliath. So yeah, so we all know this part, but there's one thing in the entire story, within the entire book, the Bible, I've come to realize this revelation I had is that David is the only man in the Bible that God had given his own sources for his punishment. How cool is that? That's how much that's how much God loved David. That's how much God knew David's heart. God, that's why the Bible says that only God knows our heart. Despite everything that David has done, God knows his heart. You know what I mean? We are looking at all the wrong things that he has done. We all focus on all the wrong things that David has done. But we don't focus on the other things that he has accomplished. He really was he really was for the people. As a human being, he just make mistakes. And that's how we are as human beings. We make mistakes. But we human beings, we love to focus on each other's mistake. Like my aunt Esther has before she passed away, she once said to me, um, if somebody do you dirty, if somebody do you wrong, don't focus on all the wrong thing or the bad thing that they had done for you, that they had done to you. But try to focus on the good thing that they had done for you. So that was the last advice I ever gotten from my aunt Esther. Oh, also, I love the book of Esther. After David, I think I have more characters in the Bible that I love, but Esther and David, my story, I love them. I just love their stories. They're my favorite people in the Bible. So yeah, so God gave David. God was like, so actually David went to God and was like, oh, it's like God. You know what I love about God? It's just like, even though God knows everything about us, but He give us the free will for a reason. The free will is that when you do something, He gives you all the opportunity to just admit. Sometimes we don't want to admit to the thing we've done wrong, but he allows you to give you the free will. You can decide to do good. You can decide to do bad. When you do bad, He gives you opportunity to acknowledge all the bad things you've done. David conscience was like, Lord, I have sinned. 2 Samuel 24, verse 10. I'm just gonna with the part he said, I have sinned greatly. This is what he said. David said to the Lord, I have sinned greatly by taking these census. Please forgive my great Lord for doing this foolish thing. His conscience was bothering him so much that he had to go to God and say, hey God, I recognize that I've made mistakes and I want to apologize. I want to make things right. God was like, very well, my son. This is what we're going to do. Because I love you so much. I love you, my son. I love you. This is what I'm gonna do, David. Now, you're the only person in the Bible that I'm gonna allow this in the Old Testament. I'm giving you 3 punishments. And this is which one you want me to deal with. God was like, these are the punishment. Let me see if I wrote them down. 3 punishment. If I can read them. Yeah, 3 years of famine, 3 months of fleeing from his enemies, or 3 days of plague in the land. That's the 3 choices. Like now, God didn't have to do that. God didn't have to give him the opportunity to choose his punishment. God don't do that with us. Sometimes we can ask God. We can ask God, say, hey, God, can you give me a punishment? Like, we can ask God if we acknowledge to the thing we have done. But God gave David 3 options to choose from. And, this is why I love David. David's smart. David really smart. David's relationship with the Lord is, I love it. On 2 Samuel verse 14, after God gave David the 3 punishments to choose from, David was like, whew, I'm in desperate situation. David replied to God. David's seer. So God told Gad, to tell David the punishment that was been given to him. So David talking to Gad, and he said, but let us fall into the hands of the Lord, for his mercy is great. Do not let me fall into human hands. David knows the difference between falling into God's hand and humanity. When it comes to mankind, because mankind punishment versus God punishment are two entirely different things. So so I read this story and had that revelation. I've always had revelation in the Bible. I just never shared it with anybody. I just kept it to myself. I don't know why, but I know that's why I guess this year is the year where I'm deciding to just like share the gospel. I've always felt like, because I have an accent, maybe people will not understand me or people not gonna listen. I don't know, but at the end of the day, I want to do things to please God. So I'm glad I'm sharing this story with you guys. So when I had that revelation back in 2022, I was like, oh wow. David really loved God and God really loved David. And you guys can read more about 2 Samuel verse 24. And the crazy thing is, my whole purpose, like the original plan was to talk about 2 Samuel verse 24. So as I was, it's so weird. I was gonna read 2 Samuel verse 24. And then I ended up with, the whole time I was reading 1 Samuel verse 24, and I was like, whoa. Oh my God, I got excited. I was like, wait, I was up to read 2 Samuel verse 24. And then I was reading 1 Samuel verse 24. You gotta have to read both stories. And you'll be like, wow, David, a man after God on heart. And I want to be like David. I want to be all the thing about David that are the greatness, all the good thing about David. I want to be like David. I want to use David's example to, fight for God's love. And I'm gonna stop because I'm getting excited. I hope you all have a great, great, great Sunday. And yeah. May I continue to have more revelation from God, and let's read our Bible. especially the Old Testament. Keep on reading. I hope you are with. I hope you are gonna read it. Okay. All right. Bye bye. Bye bye. Remember, I love you and Jesus loves you more. Bye.